Why are you hissing?
I just want to know, guys. I want to know. I want to let you guys know that we are not late because I'm getting a snicky snack. Although I do like my snickety snackities. Okay, it's because this one over here was
it's still 2 o'clock.
Listen,
late.
There was outrage going on in the chat. Outrage. It was like they were gonna like have a revolt, and they were trying to blame it on me. But let me tell you guys.
I saw one post from Tasha. I don't think that was a revolt.
All caps from Sandra saying late. They're very well. We've canceled a few shows lately, so I think that they're a little PTSD. They're getting nervous. They're getting a little nervous. But anyway, this one over here, she thinks she looks real cute in her new glasses. So she all of a sudden had to like race downstairs and to go get them. And then I was hissing at you because I told her I was starting, and she's like, "Not yet, I'm sitting down."
Lack of punctuality, rude. Well, here's the thing. I think Katie's clock on her computer may be different. I don't know her because literally
that's reality.
I said 2 o'clock when we started, and then Sandra's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds late.
I don't know. Oh, what's that sound? That was a little weird. Anyway, you do look pretty cute in your glasses. Although I was just telling her that I don't, she was asking me earlier if I was going to miss her while she was gone. And I just said, I think you're the one's not going to be missing me. Because apparently
it's Amazon. Just ignore it.
Just ignore it. The dog's now going to bark about it. Shut your yap, Grizz. Shut your yapper. Anyway, so now there's going to be a little bit of yipping.
Sorry, guys.
A little yipping in the background.
Sorry, Cheryl, if you're listening with headphones again because Katie just screamed in your ear again.
Cheryl, you need to get over it right now. Get over it right now. Anyway, I don't know if you've noticed my amazing t-shirt. This is my Valentine's Day present from Victoria. It is, as you can see, Michael Myers from Halloween. This is Crazy for You. I heart you. Hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses. Be mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's very romantic. Very romantic and mostly non-murdery.
And very appropriate, I believe.
I think so. I think it's pretty awesome. Anyway, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keelan Kisses says, shut your yapper. Works every single time for me too. It's like saying bark louder. That's pretty much true. Pretty much true. Usually I threaten her with like, I tell her I'm going to beat her some more because I'm very physically abusive to our dogs.
Yep.
So abusive that I heat up their blankets in the morning from the dryer so that they can burrow under them. By the way, we just had a bunch of reseller ladies visiting, and we had Debbie was staying with us from out of town.
She's in the chat, Uptown Bug.
Yep. All right. Anyway, she when she saw that our dogs only had one giant blanket, she felt like we were being very abusive, and she was very concerned about the welfare of the dogs. And so she went to one of the thrift stores here, and she picked up 3 blankets, and then like a day or two later, she picked up 2 more because she felt like she still had not done enough. So now they have 5 additional blankets.
Now our dogs have 5 baby blankets
and a big blanket
throughout the house, throughout their little, mind you, they sleep on the sectional by themselves because there's never anybody else there. They have 2 beds and all of their blankets on the sectional. They pretty much own the family room.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's not like we're hanging out in there. But I've been
in our damn offices all the time.
In the morning, I've been, I come downstairs. I put the blankets in the dryer, and then I take them outside for potty time, and then I come in and make the coffee, and then it's just enough time that the blankets are nice and toasty, and they get real excited. They start.
Yep, Keyline Kisses. Oh my God, call PETA. Insert the Arms of an Angel song. Yeah, Sarah McLachlan. Let's have some Sarah McLachlan playing in the background.
Anyway,
so we had a great time with our friends here visiting. We did some thrifting. We did a lot of eating. We did some hanging out, some laughing, chatting.
A lot of laughing.
We had a good time. We had a good time.
I ended up being in charge of we've done too much. Let's shut this shit down. And so there were a couple of times where I had to be like, we're not doing anything. We're not going anywhere. We're staying home. We're ordering some food in and we're watching a movie. And luckily Debbie and Mitch were all over that. So that has become my role, is I'm the one that says enough. It's too much. Let's just chill. Okay. And that's how it went. So anyway, so this is our Sunday show, Sunday live haul. We break it up into 3 parts. The first part, we look at our real numbers.
Wait, I just have to pause 1 second. Allison, get out of the chat. You're in freaking Hawaii. Stop watching our stupid YouTube show.
Have you been there for like a month now?
She's been there forever, but she's like, oh, I was at the beach watching dolphins and snorkeling. Blah, blah, blah.
You just live there now? What's going on?
Get out of YouTube.
Yeah. Also, I got this hat that Vikki got me. Vikki got me a hat and 2 shirts. She gave me the first one because obviously it's kind of a Valentine's Day thing. And then she was like, oh, and they got you a couple other things, but they're for your birthday. Now my birthday's in April. And listen, first up, let me just lay down a little knowledge first. Let me just lay down a little foundation here. I am totally fine with waiting until my birthday, waiting until Christmas. Like, I'm cool with waiting for gifts. But this one over here, once she gets you a gift and it's within her possession and you are right there, she has a hard time. And so she's like, oh, yeah, I got you some other presents, but these are going to wait for your birthday. And I'm like, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. And then roughly 5 minutes later, I think I'm being generous. I think roughly 32 seconds later, even that little joke, 15 seconds later, she gives me the present. So anyway, did you want me to show them the other one?
Sure.
Or should I be wearing it?
I think you should show it because I think it's really cool. Yeah, I'm absolutely terrible. I love buying gifts for people, and I try to be very gift specific and really, I'm not just like phoning it in, right? But then I can't wait. I just want to give the gift because I like to see people's reactions.
Okay, so
I enjoy giving gifts far more than I enjoy getting them.
This is Sandra, Dana. I don't know if
Star may or may not be watching.
I don't know if Robin's in the chat, but let me just show you. This is pretty amazing, and I have to give some serious props to this one over here. Check out this t-shirt, guys. Check it out. This is an amazing tie-dye mashup of Rad, the 80s BMX movie, and Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, a little mashup thing going on there. It's got like the little VHS stickers on it and stuff. Seriously, there's no other word for this than rad. Anyway, this is just an awesome t-shirt. So yeah, I can see why she couldn't wait until April to give it to me. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Anyway, so let me get back to the show. We go over our real numbers. Second part, we go over our sales highlights for the week. And then the last part is when we go into our haul, kind of the highlights of stuff that we sourced for the week. And so that's pretty much it. Yeah. So real quick, I did say that Vikki's going to be leaving. She leaves. She's ditching me before Valentine's Day. She's just like, later. She's leaving on the 13th. She's been gone for like 6 days. Could be more because she's going to hang out in a blizzard for a week. You're going to be in Rhode Island.
All my dumb friends keep getting married in January and February in Rhode Island. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what's wrong with nice fall weather or summer. No, let's get married when it's 30 degrees, gray, cold, icy, and imminent snow at all times.
Yeah. So, oh, that's right. Dana was the one who
she did. Found it. She was working. I forgot. She was at the rack before me.
Yeah. So really, I guess Dana gets all the credit. But anyway, so Vikki's going to be gone for a week. And there is a probably moderate to pretty good probability that she could get snowed in and maybe be gone longer. So I don't know that I'm even going to do this show next week. There's a possibility I'm going to say, you know what, I really just want to take those 6 days to like get some serious work done and maybe take take some time off from doing any people-y stuff. But we will have our Wednesday show.
Yeah, we'll do
our Wednesday show this week, and then we'll just see how.
As a matter of fact, Wednesday's show, I would like to do a story view. So if anyone is interested in a story view that has not taken part in a story view before, contact us through the email down below. And we're going to do this on kind of a first come, first serve basis. The only requirement is you do need to have a webcam. 11 a.m. Pacific time. And what the other requirement would be, hopefully it's someone that is okay with having the critique done live. I mean, that's really it.
Well, I would hope so.
You have to have that. So you need to, you need to have the ability to be nicely critiqued and coached, because that's really what we're trying to do.
We don't want you. We would ask that you don't rage out when we try to tell you that you should change something. Like if you're going to start yelling and cussing and throwing stuff, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Okay.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure if they're asking to be on the show, they're okay with it.
I'm just saying, we haven't done one in a while, and I really do love to do the store reviews. So I'm also going to put this in the Boss Facebook group, but it really is going to be one of, if you're the first person to contact us, you're the first person to contact us. Otherwise, I've been saving emails, and most of the people we've gotten to. So I will put you down for a different week, and I'll just let you know. I will reply to every email. So
Dana, listen, yes, I don't want to people for 6 days, but listen,
she's not people.
You don't count as people, because I feel like we can just sit in silence and stuff our faces full of meat at the Korean barbecue place. Okay. So don't go making assumptions. All right. I'm ready to meet with you in more ways than one, because I'm going to be meeting you and meeting my face. All right.
Weirdo.
Okay.
Weirdo.
All right. You want to get into numbers? Should we do that?
They're dismal. Well, mine, Katy had a fantastic week. My numbers, I can honestly say I'm down 40% from last month. So my numbers absolutely suck butt this month.
That's inappropriate.
They're terrible.
That's incredibly inappropriate.
Yeah, it's the reality.
Okay.
Yeah, horrible.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with yours. I have yours already on there, so I guess we'll start with you. All right. So what do you got? What's happened? What do you got going on?
So let's see. 34 orders on eBay, 9 being Etsy and Posh. So the reality was I had 7. I think I had 7. No, I'm sorry. I had 3 Posh and 6 Etsy. So that was pretty decent.
That's correct mathing.
Yeah. So 43 total outgoing orders, just over 1,500 in eBay and sales, which is really, really terrible. I really hate to be anywhere below 2,000. Etsy and Posh, 561 and change for a total of 2,068. So let's see. Shipping was 163. I didn't ship anything ridiculous this week. I didn't have anything super heavy. Promoted listing fees. I've turned off my promoted listings. I turned them off for 5 days on eBay to see if there was any difference in sales. And there really wasn't. It didn't increase. It didn't decrease. So all I had was a couple of probably leftovers. So $7.29 in promoted listing fees, $2.95 eBay final value fees. My Etsy fees were $50.56. And that's Etsy and Posh, I'm assuming, right? Are you kind of like, did you count Posh fees?
I just put it, well, you put it automatically calculated.
So it's probably a little bit more because Posh is a little bit higher. So total costs around $5.15. We've got to change the formula for that. And cost of goods pretty low this week, $156. Total net is just under $1,400, which is really pretty terrible. So my average sale ASP, gross ASP is 48. My net ASP is 32. I will say that's about 68% ROI, which is pretty good.
Again, just real quick, obviously there are a lot of costs we don't take into account. We're only looking at the cost of goods of the items we actually sold. Right. But in reality, we spent more on inventory this week than that, and then there's all the other overheads and stuff like that. So it's black and white just for what you say. Like 68%.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at mine. And you guys will flip back and forth a couple of times because you'll see there's a big difference in costs. So I had 29 outgoing eBay orders. I had 12 Etsy. Actually, I messed up. I should have put in there. I didn't sell anything on Grill, but I did sell one thing on Instagram. So I had 29 outgoing eBay orders, 11 on Etsy, and 1 on Instagram for a total of 41 outgoing orders. My eBay was pretty decent, $1,945.74. Between my Etsy and my 1 Instagram sale, I had $847.38. So my total gross sales, $2,793.12. My shipping was a little up there, $230.90.
So you had a lot of international sales.
Yeah, my promotion fees. Now I had to do a little bit of a guessing game because so like a week ago, I ended my promoted listings on eBay, and I deleted all of my current. I went ahead and just deleted all my things in there. And when I went to go look today at like how much to add it up or whatever, it like won't even let me get to that screen. It just takes me to like, welcome to promoted listings. Try it out for the first time. I can't even get to the page that gives me the breakdown or gives me any of the data, which is really obnoxious. So I went with, I think I just guessed like $25 on top of my, which is pretty what it's been lately, on top of my Etsy ones. And then you can see all my fees there. So my total cost, $620.98. And then you can see my cost of goods pretty high this week, $450. So that brings my total net down to $1,720.14. My gross average sale price, $68. My net, about $42. So that's pretty good. But you can see like
the difference between our cost of goods. That's what you're going to see.
I mean, mine's $450. Vikki's is only $156. So she only, she did just a little over 2,000 in gross sales, and I did about 2,800, so quite a bit more. And yet when you look at our net, mine's a little over 1,700, hers is like 1,400. So it's really only like a $300 difference when it comes down to it because of my higher costs. So I'm operating, we were saying Vikki's at 68%, mine's at 61, which is pretty standard. I usually say around 60%. She usually says 65. So she was at 68, pretty good. Pretty good.
Not bad for the week.
Yeah.
And I apologize. I keep looking in the mirror and all I can see is this bump on my lip. I look like I have herpes. Sorry. That's all I can see. It's not. It's just, it's just a pimple. But
yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Zit lip. I said zit lip.
I know. It's really obnoxious.
I know. Maybe you should put some meat on it.
I'm 44, for God's sake. When did the pimples stop? Can someone explain this to me? Jeez.
Never. Anyway, yeah, Treasure Box Land says that she took hers off promoted listings too. She just has one thing promoted. The thing is, it's like my sales have been decent on eBay, but like we said, like the last, I don't even know, several weeks, a couple months now, our promoted listing fees, even though we do trending rates, it's like $20. So it's like we're barely selling anything from those. So like I've said a couple times, I'm kind of experimenting. You put yours back on, right?
I put them on for like 2%. I put them back. I took them off for 5 or 6 days. I saw no real difference. Of course, eBay's traffic reports are so far behind. I can't tell because the traffic reports are irrelevant. But I really saw no difference in sales either way. So I just put them up to like 2%. I'm usually trending rates. To be honest with you, I would delete them entirely, but I wasn't able to. So I think that there is definitely a whole glitchiness going on with promoted listings in general. And I think when they made the changes, that really affected us because I don't have a, I don't know that it's completely changed what's selling through promoted listings. So I think they're revamping the whole thing because they are about to come out with the whole paid promoted listing thing that they announced back at eBay Open. I think it's just a matter of them working on it right now.
I haven't looked in the last day, like since yesterday, I think, but I really want to look at my traffic reports, and
it still says the 30th.
It still says the 30th of January, and it's the 9th of February. So I don't have anything to compare to. So I'm going to leave mine off as long as I possibly can. And just see if it has any impact at all, because actually my sales since I turned them off have been fine. So I don't see any reason. I'm not like desperate to like turn them back on. So we'll just see.
Yeah, I just think it's a bit of a cluster right now. So like everybody's saying, that we've been talking about diversifying now for over a year since we had the picture glitchamageddon a year and a half ago on eBay. We've been talking about diversifying to our two other platforms because it's in everyone's best interest to do so. There have been a lot of problems on the eBay platform in the last year and a half. This is nothing new. I've been on the pro platform a very long time, but the amount of issues that have been happening that are out of our control have been, astronomical over the past 18 months. And I think it only behooves everybody to have their business on a few other platforms.
Well, and it's not, and nowadays, because now we have third-party software like what List Perfectly offers, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of a no-brainer to like at least branch out to at least an additional platform if you're not already doing it. Because it's so fast, and it's like, why not? You really don't want to be beholden to a single platform anyway. It's just not a good idea. What's up, Jimmy Boy Haas?
I know Jimmy Boy in the house. Let's see. So, Jimmy's wife, our friend Robin, was one of the ladies that was supposed to come out this week, but wasn't able to make the schedule work with some of her doctor's appointments. So we didn't get a chance to see her. So that was sad. But we'll see her another time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, a couple of pickers says we've branched out to grailed. And they're surprised at how easy it is to use. The salesman been pretty good so far. I've only sold one thing on grailed so far, so I don't know, but I am well.
It was a $300 thing. That was a pretty.
It was 200.
All right.
But I am well over 300 listings now, and my goal is within the next 2 weeks to get that to 1,000 listings. So.
And I've been on Posh for exactly 2 weeks, and I have sold a total of 6 items for about just under $300 so far. So I'm kind of excited about that. It's starting there, and I have about 650 listings on there. I should be up around 700 by the end of today. And yeah, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, so speaking of sales, let's go ahead and look at our sales highlights for the last
Even my highlights are cruddy.
Ah, we got some cool stuff in there. Come on.
So are we
right, here we go. Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. So this was one of the items I picked up from a bulk buy a little over a week ago. This actually sold within hours of listing. I took an offer for $70, knowing it would eventually go on sale. But I even had this with, a best offer on it, and it sold for $70 within a couple of hours of listing. I have $3 in it.
That's crazy. Not too shabby. So this is, I always pick up stuff like this, like these old Sears kind of workwear stuff. This is it's kind of like a derby jacket. You can see, and this one's an 80. I think I figured it was like 80s probably. But anyway, I really didn't have this up for that long. I've had it for maybe a few weeks. It's a couple of months. It's like it's kind of lightweight. I don't remember where I got this. Do you remember where I got this?
I think it's a Savers buy.
Yeah, I think it's a Savers buy.
I don't think you bothered to get that from the Yesterday Spitz boys.
I don't think I did. Anyway, I just really like this kind of stuff. It's always going to sell. It's always going to sell for a decent price, and it's sold for the price that you see there, $97.99. So any of this like kind of older workwear, and I've talked about like the Derby of San Francisco, which is a slightly different style, but it's similar. This stuff is really, really popular, and it sells really well. It's just really good standard stuff that you want to make sure you pick up. Classic style, workwear style that you want to pick up.
It works with the whole rockabilly scene, but it also works with just in general the whole hipster scene and people that like vintage, solid vintage that transcends a couple of different decades.
And styles.
And styles is always going to sell well.
So yeah, $100 right there. So it was a good sale. Woo-woo. All right, next one for you.
So this, I think, we keep talking about koalas. Koalas are still hot and it's still a good seller. I actually have 2. I don't know if you didn't put them close together or not. I didn't
put them right next to each other.
But we'll show both of them actually. So both sold within a day or 2 of listing. This one, I believe, sold for $65. And then the next one sold for $60. These were also from the same purchase lot as that denim shirt, and from my friend Jenna that I purchased from. So I have about $3 into each of them, so $6 total, and they sold for $125 combined.
Anything koala, anything Australia right now is seriously really, really hot. And this is, again, we've talked about before, you want to pay attention to what's going on in the news, because topical stuff, people just, it's just like a weird kind of buyer mentality. When something is hot in pop culture or in the news, people
transcends into fashion.
They want to go and they want to buy it. They want to acquire it.
So Jimmy said that $70 for Ralph Lauren button front. No, it's not RRL. It was just a standard Ralph Lauren polo.
Yeah, it was just polo from
the 90s.
Yeah, but it's that denim looking.
Yeah, that soft denim.
You always sell those pretty fast. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, Kara says, won't sell my koala shirt. Love it. She was wearing that when she was here this last week. And
I told her.
Vikki was like, you should sell that. She's like, no way. She wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Anyway, all right, next one for me is this awesome twister.
You just showed that to me. What did it sell in a day?
It did. It sold right away. I've got a regular buyer who I happen to know the kind of stuff that he likes, and this is one of those ones that, and sure enough, he was like, he remembered going to this. So this is Universal Studios Florida, and back in the 90s, because the movie came out in 96, and I think this particular attraction, it wasn't like a ride. It was like you would go, and I went and actually watched
it came out in 96? I thought it came out in like 80s.
The movie Twister?
Yeah. Wasn't it 80s?
No, it was like 96. Anyway, the movie came out in like 96, but this attraction I think came out in like 98.
I've been on this ride. It's
not really a ride. It's like because I watched
Universal Studios.
You go
it's a drive-through.
Yeah, you go in and it was really cool. They have like fire and like there's a tornado and it's just really cool. Obviously,
it's like it was one of those backlot tours that Universal.
Yeah.
Yep, and
it's really cool. Look it up on YouTube. It's pretty cool to watch. But anyway, it's something else now. But it was there for like a good 15, 20 years. Anyway, so I've actually picked this up on Etsy. I've been doing a lot of online arbitrage and just kind of going, anywhere from Etsy to Mercari to Poshmark and stuff. I like picking stuff up, even eBay, and then turning around and selling it again. So I picked this up from a Canadian seller, and got a couple of things, and so sold it right away. It's just a really cool kind of tie-dye single stitch, and it's just awesome. You know how I always have my different things that I'm obsessed with.
Right now it's Universal Studios.
Right now it's Universal Studios. I'm really into anything Universal Studios. And so when I see it, I want it. And it's just really neat.
And we can thank the boys at Jesse at Yesterday's Fits, because he started that with her ET shirt and has moved on.
Kinda, yeah. It's like I'm starting
where they started a few months ago.
Yeah, kind of, for sure. Anyway, because it's like a lot of movies that I really love come out of Universal Studios, and they have been part of the attractions there. So let's skip that. So we did that one. So real quick, this one, remember that video we did, like, what was it, like a year and a half ago now, 2 years ago? We went to that Stussy sale, like that parking lot. Yeah, that parking lot sale where there was like all their old overstock and everything. Yeah, that was kind of a big mistake. I didn't really sell. I was kind of on the tail end of the popularity of Stussy. Like, they still like it, but it's not hot. So I think I paid like probably $40 for this jacket. I sold it for $100. Somebody gave an offer of $100, but I mean, this stuff I've been hanging on to way too long. So whatever, you live and you learn. So I got $100 for this, which I was happy about.
It's like we went and did the Stussy thing at the height of Stussy, and it fell off the planet the minute you made that bulk buy.
I think it was it was on the downturn.
It was on the cusp.
Downturn right there. Yeah,
it was on the cusp, and then meat shark.
Pretty much.
It jumped.
Pretty much. So yeah, I got $100 for it. It's a really nice jacket, but it was just just took way too long. Next one for you. Ooh.
So these are some pretty cool sneakers. I picked these up at Deseret Industries, and I remember distinctly I paid about $6 for them. I'm almost positive it was $6.
It wasn't a lot.
So the biggest problem was that they had some yellowing around the soles. Like, that happens a lot with 80s and 90s sneakers because of the glue that they used. So people have given several tips since then, and in a way that you can get those, some lighten that yellow. But that was before I did that. This has been since I did that. So I wasn't able to do that. But I think I was pretty clear about the condition and showing the differences in them. But I did hang on to these a little while because they're small.
Yeah.
Okay, so a woman's size 7 is pretty small. If these were in a man's size shoe, I have a feeling I would have sold them faster, because I think, like, just pop art looking, they are they're very cool looking.
Yeah.
So they were women's size 7. And I took an offer, they sold for $75. I know Sandra's been watching those.
They're so cute.
But they're not her size. So
yeah, they're real tiny.
They're real cute. So I was happy with $75. I'd been sitting on them for a bit now. And I know I showed them in a haul a while ago. So I think I've had them for a good, 6 to 9 months.
So Victoria Smith is asking me, she says, you're buying on a separate account, not your seller ID, correct? And I'm going to say no, because you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care. I mean, I've never had a problem. I get that there's a possibility that I'll buy from somebody and then they'll see me relist it for triple or quadruple the amount. I don't really care.
It's their problem.
I haven't had a problem yet. If somebody freaks out about it, whatever. I just don't really, I'm not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure at some point somebody will be better out of shape because people are weird. But I'm not worried about it. Like, what are they going to do? Give me a bad feedback somehow?
I don't have a buying account. So I know that back when
Victoria
started and when I started on eBay, it was very common to keep your account separate for a lot of reasons. One of them being that, feedback was the wild, wild west back then, and people would absolutely buy from other people just to leave negative feedback. And that was a thing. That was like a big thing then. Yeah. People were stupid and rude. And
I think people have figured out now that feedback just doesn't really matter all that much. So it's just not that big of a deal.
So I think it was pretty common to have 2 accounts for that reason. I buy under the same account. I do have a second store, but there's absolutely nothing in it right now. So I do have it. I never really have a problem.
I mean, I'm sure at some point it could happen, because I've seen people post stuff and be super bent out of shape about, something being bought from them, and then they turn around and resell it.
Well, it's their own problem for pricing it too low.
I'm not worried about it. All right. Next one for me is, did I show this in the haul? I think I did. I've only had it for maybe a few weeks, but we went to a Savers. And there was this jacket. It's a motorcycle jacket, and there wasn't a price tag on it. And sometimes you'll have you'll have a hard time getting them to price something because, you know, there are people who will go and take the price tags off just so they can try to get a cheaper price. But generally I think we've only ever had that problem one time where somebody at Savers wouldn't reprice something.
And then we went back and got it in the morning.
Yeah, then we went back and got it in the morning. But I did not take the price tag off of this. I will say that, but it didn't have one. And so I went up to ask, and they literally like rang it up like $7.99, and I got like 20% off of that. So I paid like maybe $6
for a leather motorcycle jacket.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why they price. I was not expecting the price of that cheap. But anyway, I took an offer for 140. It did, of course, have to go to, I think it went to like South Carolina, so it cost me a little bit to ship it. But 140, I already got feedback on it. They're really happy.
And that had some of the Kevlar in it too, right? So that had to be real hard. Like you weren't shipping that for like in a poly. It didn't go in a poly bag.
It had the armor in it. It did go in a poly bag, but it wasn't a big poly bag. Because it had the armor in it, so you can't really. It's only so small you can get these things.
Right.
But it's just a really cool jacket. I got 140 for it. So I was pretty happy considering how little I paid, especially nowadays that I'm paying up so much more for stuff. It's nice to get something for cheap every once in a while.
Right.
Some money on.
And on the other hand, where I'm like cheap all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, okay. So this was one, I picked this up at a clothing sale right before the holidays, and I didn't pay very much for it. I think I paid $5 for it. And you know, that's it. It's kind of like, it's a white muumuu. It's white on white. So I do have some sharp contrast. I did have to adjust the editing a little bit so that you could see in the photos that it's a white on white pattern.
Yeah.
Like see right there. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, first photo enhanced to show detail. I mentioned it in the description because it's really hard to capture white on white otherwise.
Yeah.
So
white on white on white.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit much. So this sold on Etsy, and it sold for,
yeah, hold your horses, doobity boo, skibbity bop beep bop boo. Get a little scat there, okay.
You're weird. It sold for that price. I do have a sale on Etsy. This happened to be the sell on somewhere in the 2 days that I did not have a sale going. So this sold for full price on Etsy for $99.95 just the other day. And it's heading out. It's not going to Hawaii. I find very frequently that my Hawaiian items go back to Hawaii, which is kind of nice. But this is not the case. But it's going somewhere in the U.S. So
nice, good work. All right, so this is Indiana Pacers starter jacket. I haven't had this for too long. I think maybe a month tops. This is one I bought for yesterday's fits. I believe I paid like $35 for this. So I had it for a little while, had some lower offers, and then somebody offered $175, and I was like, hot diggity dog, I will take your $175 gladly. And so that was a good little flip. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely paying up a lot more for stuff, but it's well worth it. In my mind, it's one of those things that like, once you really get a good grasp on how much you can sell stuff for, then you can make better decisions about paying up. I get that like when you're starting out and you don't necessarily know brands or you don't know how to sell through, you want to be careful and you want to try and buy stuff for as cheap as possible. But once you start to kind of get better at it, you can pay up, or you can be like Vikki and say, no, I'm not doing it, and just keep buying stuff for 2 cents and selling it for $1 million.
Yeah, well, you know,
which I guess that's the better way to go, guys, but whatever.
That's my business plan in a nutshell. I'm buying it for 2 cents and selling it for $1 million. I don't know what is wrong with you people, why you cannot follow that business strategy.
Yes, son of a bitch. All right, next one for you.
I just wanted to go into the chat real quick. Jimmy's asking if anyone still sells mugs, like coffee mugs. I do still sell them. What I do is I charge $6.95 shipping, and shipping in a 7x7x7 priority box, unless you can get one a little smaller. But the 7x7x7 box that's provided by USPS costs about $9 for 1 to 2 pounds or 3 pounds even going anywhere across the country. So I lose a couple of dollars, but I really don't sell any for less than 20. So I'm okay with that.
So this is another very official, well thought out business plan that Victoria follows. She hates selling. She's sick of selling hats, and she's sick of selling coffee mugs. And so once every month or so, she says, I'm so sick of selling mugs. I don't want to do it anymore. And then she immediately sells more. And then the next day she buys more.
I haven't bought a mug in a long time.
Okay. Because I feel like every time you say, I'm so sick of doing this, or hats.
I haven't bought a
ship
mug
out
in a long time, but then I really don't like buying hats, and then I buy hats and I still sell them. So
yeah, you keep selling.
I'm such an ass. Like, it's one of those things I'm always like, nah, why am I buying hats? But then I buy the ones that sell for like $60 and I paid $1.
Yeah.
So
whereas I'm just like, I'm not going to sell hats anymore, and then I never buy them again while you make all the money on them. So I don't know who's wrong or right, but it seems to work well enough, I guess. All right. What do you got here?
So these shoes I've had listed for less than 2 weeks, maybe a little over a week. I picked them up at an estate sale. I paid $5. This particular company still makes saddle shoes, actually, or they did up until at least into the 2000s. I'm not sure if they still do. But this is a vintage pair, and these are probably from the 60s-ish or the 70s. So I think I put 70s to be conservative.
They're cute.
But they're real cute saddle shoes. They're super heavy and very well made. And I shipped these out this week. They sold on Etsy for they actually sold for $73 because I had a 10% off sale going. So they sold for $73.
Nice.
And I paid $5. And I actually wore them when I was a cheerleader when I was really young.
Oh, aren't you special?
Yep, Grandma Cheap Cheap. They were vintage for sure. So they were 60s or 70s.
Yeah. All right, next one for me, Detroit Vipers. I love this sweatshirt. I've had, if you guys remember, I just got this like within the last 3 weeks or so. And then I also had like a really cool Detroit Vipers t-shirt but that one sold like right away. This one didn't take much longer. And I think I was, the sale wasn't going because I usually have like a 10% sale going on in my Etsy store. But Detroit Vipers, it was a International Hockey League minor league team that's no longer there. And so I think that finding their stuff is really cool. And if you look for comps, there's just not a whole lot out there. And what is out there, it's mostly jerseys, but sweatshirts and stuff, you're just not finding as many. And so if you find one with like a really cool graphic on it, you can price it up quite a bit. And so so this one I sold for the full price, $99.99. So I sold for $100.
$100.
But yeah, I like finding hockey stuff. I feel like you just don't, there's stuff like basketball and football. I feel like they go just over the top with stuff, especially when you go back to like vintage stuff when it comes to marketing and all of their merchandise and stuff like that.
What did you pay for this?
This I paid like, I think 25. You paid 25 for it.
You keep forgetting to say what you paid for things.
I apologize, everyone. I apologize. But I got this from yesterday's fits. Paid $25 for it and sold it for $100. Was not listed that long, but it's a great color. I love the red.
The red with the bright teal was nice. It was a nice sharp design.
Absolutely. All right.
So this is one of those super faded. I think I sold I know I sold the other one that was similar to this already, but this is super faded. It has that kind of strange nylon heavy jersey material on it with some stretch to it. You can see all the defects. I mean, the fading and the cracking on the sleeves, the white fading on the arms. This is something I picked up from the boys at yesterday's fits as well. I'd picked up 2 vintage Cornell vintage champion shirts. The first one I sold for, I think, $65. And this one sold on Etsy for sold for $73. This was part of my 10% off sale. So $73 on that one. And I paid $10. So I had paid $20 for the 2 shirts and I sold both of them for one for $65 and one for $73. So I'm pretty okay with that.
It was cool because Jesse was telling me that he bought these from a woman who they were hers when she went to school at Cornell back in the 70s. So it was kind of neat to know like where it actually came from, and now it's got a new life going to somebody else. So I always love it when that happens.
Yeah, and like
I love saving the vintage.
Dana actually took pictures of this or listed it. I'm not sure which. I think she listed it. And it was a weird material. It was like a thick kind of stretchy jersey material. I don't quite know how to describe what it was, but it's not something that you feel on I don't know, that you feel on clothing now. It's like a heavyweight poly. It was weird.
Now they use like the really lightweight gross poly that's like just cheap feeling. All right, next one for me. You gotta love the Wisconsin Badgers.
Every freaking Wisconsin Badgers thing you've ever purchased, you sell like in the first week.
So check it out, guys. So they're my new favorite team, as I said. And so I actually go now and like do searches for Wisconsin Badgers stuff and like all different platforms. So this I actually got off of Mercari. I bought 2 different Badgers sweatshirts from the same seller. This one ended up being like $18. The other one like $15. I've not sold the other one yet. I think I showed these maybe last week. Literally, I just got them and just listed them. And so the person that bought this actually bought this one and another sweatshirt. But this one sold. I had just listed it, but then I had just started a new sale. So it actually sold for $63 because it was 10% off. So they bought this and another sweatshirt, $63. I paid like $18. I'm telling you guys, Wisconsin Badgers. And I love this particular sweatshirt. I think it's really cool. And the really awesome thing is I had already sold a Wisconsin Badgers sweatshirt from 1994, the Rose Bowl, and it was an extra large as well. So it was literally like switching. I just took the old listings, copied them, did sell similar, switched out like the pictures, and I was pretty much good to go. So it took me, other than taking the pictures, it was like 2 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah.
It was awesome. And then they like sold right away. So it was pretty awesome. All right. Next one for you. Last one for you.
So I have had a few sales on Posh. I have to say, gotta love them emailing you the label, that and Mercari. I am paying someone. I'm doing the cross posting using List Perfectly. Like I said, I have almost 700 listings up there. I will by the end of business today. But I am paying someone once a week to do all of my daily sharing, following, resharing, whatever the crap is, because I don't even know how to share anything.
Who knows?
I don't know what it is. I don't know how to do it. I don't care. My point was I just wanted to cross post it and then be able to sell the items and ship it. And I didn't want to deal with any of the other crap. I'm just trying to figure out how to create bundles to send to people when they like things. And I do know how to send out offers to likers. I figured that much out. So I've been doing a little bit of that. But this was an offer to me. They sent me an offer on it, and this sold they were listed about 2 days on Posh. So they sold for $75. Now I probably would have sold them for about the same price on eBay. Their fees are a little bit higher on Etsy. I did not do free shipping or anything, so they did pay the shipping fee. So if you can see my pricing and earnings, right? You can see $58 on a $75 sale because they take 20%. So 20% is not great. But here's the difference. I'm not paying I'm not paying a per listing fee. I'm not paying a store fee. I'm not paying promoted listing fees. And I'm not shipping this for free shipping or eating any of the shipping. So when you look at that, if you're factoring in all of those things, you're paying about the same as you would on eBay, sometimes even a little bit less.
Yeah.
So
it's all a trade-off. It's all a trade-off. And you're just getting in front of more eyes. So anyway, all right. Last one for me, guys.
That's right. No PayPal fees either. Thank you.
There you
That's
go.
another one. And no returns.
There you go. And so what state bought the Badgers sweatshirt? I don't remember. So I have no idea. Actually, I haven't shipped that one out yet. It just sold like a couple days ago. All right. So this is a Hawaii Rainbow Satin Bomber jacket. I love this jacket. I love, I never find anything from the Hawaii Rainbows. Actually, what are they? The Hawaii Warriors, I believe.
have no idea.
They used to be called the Rainbows for a while, and they were the Rainbow Warriors. Now they're just the Warriors. But at yesterday's Fits, he had this awesome Hawaii Rainbows sweatshirt, and I wanted to buy it. It just come in, and sometimes he'll just be like, no, unless I want to pay full price. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll buy this. But it's really cool too. And so I believe I paid $40 for it. I definitely paid up a little bit for it. Paid $40 and listed it. I just think I love it. And it didn't last long. It did not last long. I don't even think it was listed for a week before I sold it.
What'd you say? You said you paid $40?
I paid like $40 for it, and it was on sale for 10% off. So it sold for $166.49. And guess where it went?
Back to Hawaii.
So this went back to Hawaii. Just an awesome jacket. Again, there's certain teams you see all the time. There's certain teams that do more merchandising than others. And of course, we're not in Hawaii. So it's just really cool when you find this kind of stuff. But actually, we have a really big Hawaiian population.
There's a big Hawaiian population in Vegas. It's called the 10th island for a reason. A lot of people come and live here from Hawaii.
Yeah. So again, paid $40 for this. So definitely paying up quite a bit. It's not even like a starter jacket, it's Swingster.
I like Swingster.
Yeah, I like Swingster, but it's like, you know, starter definitely sells for a lot more. But man, really good flip, right?
It
went fast.
flip.
It went fast. So yeah, that's it for our sales highlights of the week.
Sales
highlights. So
right.
let's get into our haul. What you got?
So we did quite a little bit of sourcing this week. So we went to a couple of savers. We went to a couple of estate sales. We went and spent the day at a couple of hours, I should say, at one of the bins here in Vegas. And you've heard us talk about the bins are pretty crappy. For the most part, they are. But we ended up with a couple of scores at the bins with us, with the ladies. We had fun. And
yeah, I found a number of vintage t-shirts. I actually gave Corey some vintage t-shirts. Debbie found probably, I think, the best vintage t-shirt at the bins. So there is stuff to be had there. I will say though, it's real dirty.
It's real dirty.
It's real gross. So it's like it's pretty small. So meh. I wouldn't spend much time there. It's fun for the experience, but that's about it. I don't know.
All right.
But one of the estate sales that we went to though, do you want to, because I was thinking we could show those kind of at the same time, or you want to start with what you have
I'm going to start with the hard goods here.
Okay, go ahead.
So I picked up a couple of things. These things were at Savers. I've really been having a tough time finding a good selection of hard goods lately. I really have to get back out there. And now that it's going to be garage sale season, that's where I get, you know, the majority of my hard goods, let's face it, and for better ROI. But one of the things I wanted to show is, you know, when you're looking at the thrift stores, look at the outliers, look at the things that look old or the things that look different or the things that look creative. And that's probably where you're going to make the most money. Also the smalls. Don't discount something that's a small because you think it's not worth a ton. Sometimes they can be worth money. I'm not one that wants to flip things for $15. Of course, I want to spend 2 cents and sell it for $1 million, as Katie said. But there are some things that are very easy to ship, very easy to list, that I'm okay with spending some money on. So yeah, Jen asked, are these prescription? Yes, these are my new glasses. I wear contacts. I hardly ever wear glasses because my prescription was so old and they were terrible. But I did take my contacts out and give my eyeballs a rest and wear the glasses. So they're new. Thank you. So anyway, one of the things I picked up, it was 25% off day. It was on Thursday when we went. This is at a Savers. This is just a vintage, it's like a vintage drafting type of ruler. It's missing a couple of things, but it still sells for, it's in the box here. It still sells for about $45 to $50. And I paid what, $350, $375 for it.
Nice.
By the same token, this is another one. This is part of a drafting kit. There was a third item there that I didn't buy. So this one, again, it was either, I think it was 20% off or 25% off. Anyway, it was either $7.50 or $8, one of the two. On this one, they had 3 or 4, but they were mostly missing pieces. This one is fairly complete. This one I think I can sell for about $75. So if you open the box, it has all of the rulers and the drafting. This is a K&E ruler with a lot of the different things that go with it.
Very nice.
So let's see. One of the things I picked up at one of the estate sales we went to, and we'll talk about, they had a whole theme going on at this estate sale, but one of the things that I picked up is this huge box. This is one of the items I'm probably going to auction. I am not interested in doing individual listings for this, but I paid $5 for this whole box, and there's probably 150 different American Airlines pins and buttons that are related to hot air balloon festivals. So I have there, and there's duplicates, right? So there's probably 30 of each different design. I'm going to auction this off as one lot. I'll probably start, I paid $5. I'll probably start at around 30. The buttons themselves sell for $5 to $10 a piece. Somebody that if a reseller of some sort wanted to bid on it, great. If a collector wanted to bid on it, they'll probably sell to a reseller that wants to take the time to piece them out over time. I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
So cool. I will let the market decide what the value is. But again, with only $5 in it, even if I get a $30 bid and they all sell for $30, then so be it. Somebody got a great deal. The other thing we picked up, this was also at this was the second day of the estate sale. I went into the room where they had a lot of the office stuff, either second day or third day by the time we went. It was a third day.
Yeah.
It started on Wednesday. We went back on Friday. So these are for people that are pilots or they're flight calculators.
That's awesome.
So they're from the 1950s and the 1960s. I paid $2 for each of these. I did some research, so I had my pricing up on here. So this is from 1970. It'll probably sell for about $70. It's tough to get it out of this plastic thing, but to show you what it looks like. But I'll show you one of the smaller ones instead. This one's from the 1950s. This is a military one. This will only sell for about $40 or so.
That's really
cool.
But
there are these little metal compass type things that have all this different information about flight information. I don't know. I'm not a pilot. But there were 3 that I picked up that have some value to them. Again, I paid $2 a piece. This one will probably ship for I'll sell this for about $25 to $30. So again, I paid $6 and I'll probably sell these for about $120 for all 3. Not, going to make me rich, but clearly easy to photograph, easy to ship, and super cheap. So
I'm going to give a shout out to Treasure Boxland because that's a pretty good play on words. She says, "Right on, brother."
Har, 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 har.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Callie Picker. Says, "Good evening, everyone. Just found this channel and checking it out. Been a while since I was in the reselling arena. I'm an OG picker. So welcome to the channel. We appreciate having you here. For sure.
I am also an OG picker and reseller. New to the YouTubing thing as far as that goes. We've only been doing that for about 100,
couple years,
18 months, 100 years.
100 years, everybody.
But yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. So it's nice to meet. So we have a few OG resellers here that are in our chat and our group too.
Well, I'm an OG thrifter. I've only been reselling for a few years, like 4 years now. Well, I did some dabbling in it back in the mid 2000s, but I've been thrifting since I was a kid. So yeah.
And this is my last hard good type of item that I'll show. And then Katie can do some stuff. This is one of those.
Probably a hard good.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one of the, well, it's not really a hard good. It's a soft good, but it was one of the things I picked up at the garage sale. I paid $1, vintage, dead stock, 1970s type of undershirt. These sell very well. This will probably sell for $65 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of people asking what OG is. OG, as Sandra just answered, is original gangsta.
Yes, it also stands for short for original in a lot of things. But yeah, so I've been doing this longer than Chris Green and Steve Rakin. I don't know who Tracy Smith is, but I do know who the Gilmans are. But yeah, so we've a lot of old school people have been doing this a long time.
I paid for my move to New York City when I went to grad school there back in 2007. I paid for it by selling off a bunch of my DVD collection on Amazon. And actually, I sold before that too, just for fun, because I was a collector of movies and I knew which stuff was like out of print. And I would actually use eBay to do my research, and then I would sell them on Amazon. So I've been doing that for years and years. But anyway. All right. So speaking of, so I'm going to go, the first things I'm going to show are from that estate sale as well, because then Vikki on the top of her pile is also that stuff. So we wanted to go to the sale because it's a big estate sale, and they sent out this thing and they were like, the people, and here's the other thing. This was not an estate sale because anyone died. They actually were still alive. The people that owned all this stuff in this house, they just wanted to sell off a bunch of their stuff. So kind of cool if they got to do it while they're still alive, because they had a lot of really, really cool stuff. They one of them worked for American Airlines, I believe. And so they were really involved in the balloon festivals that were sponsored by American Airlines. So we knew there was going to be a ton of vintage hot air balloon stuff and airline stuff. And I saw from the pictures, they said in the thing, they said there was like a whole clothing room. And they were like, you got that right, a clothing room. And I could see in the picture that there was a ton of vintage jackets and clothing and stuff like that.
They had a lot of, they had some St. John.
And,
there wasn't much. They had about 3 St. John pieces priced between $40 and $50 each, and they were nothing special.
From the pictures, we could
I didn't buy them.
From the pictures, we could see there was a ton of clothing. And there's a couple of guys in the Vegas area where it comes to vintage streetwear and stuff like that. They go to these estate sales. And I hate the whole like fighting people for stuff. But I was like, whatever, our friends are here in town. Let's go to this estate sale. And I'm like, we got to go there early because they're going to have, those guys are going to be there, which by the way, spoiler alert, they weren't even there.
No, none of the clothing people
they weren't there. So we got there like, we wanted to get there an hour early. We got there like 45 minutes early. So we were waiting. There were like 4 people in front of us. And so we waited for like 45 minutes.
Let's be real. There was nobody in front of us. Somebody put there were like 2 bags on the ground in front of us, and they thought that held their spot. And I almost got into a throwdown match with them because I was like, what's for me?
Anyway, whatever. So there were 4 people in front of us. So when they opened up and they let like the first 30 or so people in, and I was like, feel a little anxiety because the lady came out and she's like, yeah, there's a clothing room. And somebody said, where's the clothing room? She said, in the house. And I'm like, ugh, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go the wrong way. I'm not going to get the cool stuff I want. But we got in the house, and then she pointed to the clothing room, and there was only the one guy that was in front of us that got in there ahead of me.
And he was only looking for one specific thing.
Right. So, and some of their pricing was pretty high. Their jackets were like $30 a piece, but their t-shirts were $2 a piece. And so I got to them first, and I basically went through, Vikki was wanting, she was like, we need to decide who's getting what. And I'm like, listen, we're getting all the stinking vintage t-shirts. We'll figure it out when we get home. And so I just went through really fast, and anything that had single stitch and print on it, I'd like put it in a box. And so we ended up getting what, like 33, 34 t-shirts, a few sweatshirts, $2 a piece, guys. I only got 3 jackets because I was like, they're $30. It's a bit much. So we ended up getting a bunch of t-shirts. So I'm just going to show real quick, just like, I mean, there was just a lot of really cool hot air balloon type stuff.
No American Airlines blankets, Grandma Cheap. I would have been all over that shit.
Oh yeah. A lot of dead stock, like this is brand new, a lot of dead stock, but it's just all this stuff, a lot of Vegas, Albuquerque, what's the other one? Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just tons of really, really cool vintage hot air balloon t-shirts. And you know, like I said, Vikki got a bunch too. We basically came home and we went through all of them, and you know, whatever we felt strongly about, we put in different piles. Like there was this one, Vikki was like, I don't want it, but it's a 1988 Pilot polo shirt, which I don't usually do polos, but this is just a really cool dead stock 1988 shirt. And then there were some really cool Louisiana ones. They have like the alligators on them and stuff, and they're really neat. This one's from 1990, I believe. About
95 to 98% of the stuff is dead stock. Like they just got everything at events and just put them all away, and nothing was ever said.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever like used or whatever. So.
And then we got to this t-shirt, and I got super excited, and I think you guys are going to understand why. And at first, you know, Vikki wanted it, and I said, listen, you could have any of the other stuff. This is the one piece that we argued. We actually did. Something. We actually didn't, because you caved pretty quickly. Because I had grabbed like a few of the Louisiana ones with the alligators on them. And so when I said you could have whichever ones you want, she like went over to my pile and she was like, yoink. But I needed the shirt in my life, you guys. I needed it. This is a dead stock. It's super heavy, all over print. It's from Albuquerque, 1990 Balloon Festival, and it's an all over print. Or what is it
Oliver Prince?
Say Oliver Prince. All over print, Albuquerque, 1990. You can see it's dead stock, and this is really heavy duty.
Oh God, Bear Kitty.
Oh yeah.
Wah, wah.
It's just an awesome t-shirt. And so I was like, anything else you want, I need that shirt. Do you want to show us the shirts that you got too?
Sure.
And she took all the sweatshirts too. But this is just a really cool t-shirt.
Yeah, this is just a sampling of the ones that I got, but one of them was this hot air balloon sweatshirt.
This one's awesome.
It's got some, I don't know, I get right in front of the camera. I hate being backwards. Sorry guys. It's got like chilies and like a whole Southwest.
I was super jealous of this one, but like I said, she picked this one up at the sale, so I wasn't going to have much ability to get away from her.
There was no swaying me on that one.
And I wanted that other t-shirt so bad. I was like,
and you know, and this is, you know, vintage too. Again, can you help hold me? I never get them right.
The camera's right there. So
jeez, I hate this backward shit. I liked the YouTube streaming we had before.
Yeah.
So this one, Louisiana, and again, they're like old Screen Star shirts from the 80s.
But it was awesome because, like I said, because I got into that room first, I basically just grabbed all the t-shirts, and they were so cheap, it was a no-brainer.
This one with the lobsters and the lobster pot, hot and spicy. Just some real cool neon. I mean, I'm not going to make $1 million on these. This is puffy paint neon, probably $30, $35 per shirt on those. But then I got this one, which had nothing to do. Well, there's quite a few out there. So this one, this pretty old single stitch Pepsi t-shirt I love. So I have this one. I think I'm going to price somewhere around 100.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
I'm really excited about.
I priced my.
This is dead stock. This is dead stock. And then this one came from Kara. Kara brought over some fun stuff too to give to us. She brought over a suitcase of stuff to give to all of her reseller friends to resell because she's got such a death pile, which I thought was pretty funny. So this one, Sylvester and Tweety. You know, with the pocket, vintage 90s, Acme clothing.
We're still talking hot air balloon, but you're throwing everything off right now.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
It was in the same pile. So that one was no cost to me, but I'll probably sell it for about 40 or so.
I actually think that overall, she got some of the cooler hot air balloon t-shirts because, like I said, those Southwestern ones and the Louisiana ones are really, really cool. But I love my all over print one, and I got, like I said, I did get 3 of the jackets, even though they were $30 a piece. But I really think I'll easily be able to sell them for minimum $100 each. And so these ones are all American Airlines. This one's 1993 American Airlines Kodak. And you can see it says sponsor down the sleeve. So like the people that own these, like I think they worked for American Airlines, so they refer to the sponsor group.
And this is just like this big, heavy embroidered.
Just a really cool jacket. And this particular one has like the faux Sherpa lining in the inside. And then I have this one from 1990. This is Albuquerque, 1990. Again, American Airlines jacket. Just a really, really cool jacket. And then one of these actually, I actually grabbed 2 of them, and Debbie got a third one, and we got home and she's like, I got this for you. And she gave it to me. But anyway, so this is another one. This is 1992, again, Albuquerque, and these all say sponsor down the sleeve. But again, I only picked up 2. Debbie picked up 1. They were $30 a piece, but I'll definitely be able to make money on them. And there were a bunch of other jackets there, but I just wasn't, it's like I only want to spend so much. You can only put out so much. But like we said, we went back on Friday to see if there's anything else, and you got a bunch of stuff. I ended up getting 9 more jackets. There were so many jackets there. They went to 50% off on all the clothing. So
and they were a little pricey at 30, but 15 was reasonable, I think.
So I got 9 of them, and there were a bunch of like Columbia sportswear and stuff like that, but like all embroidered. Some of them were dead stock. I mean, it was crazy. You got a few more sweatshirts, and then she picked up all the other stuff. Yeah. And that jacket you're going to show right now.
So I'm going to show that in 1 second.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things I picked up at the bins, which I think we all know that Skechers Shape Up sneakers, especially Skechers Shape Up workwear shoes in black, tend to be a really good bolo. But this I had actually didn't even know existed. These are Skechers Shape Up boots. They kind of, they've got that faux Sherpa inside, or it might be real Sherpa. I didn't look it up, but they kind of look like Uggs, you know, but Uggs, Shape Up Uggs. So some people have, so I got these at the bins. I paid maybe $1, $2 for them. So they're a little bit dirty. They're a little dusty. They were probably in someone's closet for the last 10 years, and I've got to just clean them up a little bit. But the last pair in this size sold for $90 used. So for $2, I think I can easily get 60 to 75 bucks for them. So yeah, perfect for that snowblower workout. Yeah, I don't know. First of all, if you've ever worn these Shape Up shoes, you're damn lucky if you haven't broken an ankle, because they are so off balance and weird to walk in. I don't understand the whole concept, but they are Uggs. Yeah, hideous. But somebody will buy them. Somebody will buy them. So the other thing I picked up, again, we're talking about kind of some bread and butter items. I don't do a ton of plush. I tend to buy plush if it's going to sell for, $30 or more, or if it's like very different or original looking. So I did pick up these guys, and I'm tempted to send this one to to Star, but I've already sent her so many hippos. She's probably sick of them by now.
Enough!
So this cute little hippo guy with his little
hippo.
tags on him, he's like a little fuzzy guy. He's I paid $2 for, and he has his tags, and it's a Dakin by Lou Rankin. Lou Rankin is the designer. And this little guy will probably sell for like $30. I mean, he's just really cute.
He's real cute.
And then same brand, Dakin, again, with the tags, the same designer. It's a stork. Look at his little feet.
Look at them little feet.
So $2. And I think this one is not listed anywhere, nor are there any sold. And some of them have sold for quite a bit.
Cute.
So I'm going to list him closer to like the $40. I know, Dana, he is kind of a house hippo. I thought about it, but I didn't go there. So,
what's a house hippo?
It's from the website that we follow, a page called the Weird and Unusual. So again, $2 a piece, even if they sell for $25 to $30 a piece, $40 into 50 or $40 into 60.
Yeah.
You know,
they're cute. They're easy to picture and list and all that stuff. All right. You got any more?
I have more in general, but you can go.
Well, why don't you wrap up the estate sale and show that jacket, or did you have other stuff in there?
No, this is it from that. Yeah, so I actually got this on the third day. So I paid $15 for this.
I grabbed it for you, and you were like, "Nah," and I'm like, "Really? It's so cool. It's got like the Western thing."
Yeah, it's a vintage, early '80s. Probably it is down. It's red and orange, and it's got kind of like that like Western yoke on the front and the back.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'll price it at. Knowing me, probably 150, and then I'll sell it for like 75. But that's what I do.
I think it's awesome. All right, so I've also been doing. It's funny because I've been doing like the yesterday's fits. I've been buying stuff online, and then I kind of had a lot of extra stuff this week because we went to that estate sale. And I ended up with so many more items. I think I got another 30, 35, 40 items because we went to that estate sale twice. But I've been buying some stuff from online, and so that Canadian seller that I bought the Twister t-shirt from, I think I found that t-shirt, and then I saw that it said it was like maybe free shipping if you buy a second thing or some deal, and I was like, okay, so I went and looked in their store to find something else. Did you need something?
Yeah, I just wanted to address a question that in the chat.
Okay.
$sign says, please don't ignore me. There needs to be a Katy and Vikki show theme song. Well, we actually do have 2 songs back, believe it or not. So when we're doing the No Pants Friday show, we do have a No Pants Friday song.
What's the other song?
Your super chat song.
I guess so.
Nobody else does that.
Yeah.
So she sings when there's a super chat. Do we need a theme song? Sure, maybe.
Everybody needs a theme song. Theme songs are awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, $signs. I apologize. We were not trying to ignore you. That's a brilliant idea, and I think it should happen. Anyway, so when I saw that I could get free shipping or whatever it was if I got a second item, I was like, oh, I better go check out their store and see what they have. And good thing I did. This is why it's always great, guys, to have like little deals like that, because it makes somebody come and look further into your store. Because seriously, now I have this giant slalom ski team. You know how I've got my different obsessions, and one of them is anything ski related, and this is just a brilliant red sweatshirt. I love the giant slalom, the whole thing. It's just a great graphic, and I got it for super cheap. And so it's just a really cool sweatshirt, and I haven't actually listed this one yet, but it's in fantastic condition. And like I said, and the other thing that I really liked is, so they sent me the stuff, and I got a card in it, and it was really cool. It was like they basically said you can get 25% off a future purchase, like a 25% off coupon on their Etsy store if you take a picture either just of the stuff that you bought or wearing it and put it on social media, like on Instagram or whatever. For like a minimum of 5 hours, and then they'll send you a 25% off code. I haven't done that yet because I always end up like getting distracted and not remember to do it. But I thought it was a really great marketing idea because it gets their name out there, and it also brings you back in to buy more. So I thought that was really cool.
That is a good marketing idea.
All right, so a few sweatshirts that I picked up at yesterday's fits. Again, I'm getting
Treasure Boxman would like to know. I could wear that snow blowing my driveway. What size is it, Katy?
Do some serious.
That's what you get for living in Wisconsin. It's what you get.
It is a size large. I'd say it's about a size large.
Yeah, it's not an oversized large.
Not an oversized large, but it's a really good size. Anyway, so from yesterday's fits, I've been picking up more hockey stuff because, like I was saying earlier, there's just not as much 90s hockey stuff as there is like football or basketball. And this is really cool because it's a Looney Tunes, New York Rangers, Bugs Bunny sweatshirt, nice heather gray. I haven't listed this yet, but I believe I paid like $25 for this. But I'll probably put it up for like more like 100 because it does have Bugs Bunny and it's a really great graphic and it's in awesome condition. This is the Fruit of the Loom 90s tag right there in the US. I also picked up this Los Angeles Raiders dead stock sweatshirt. This is that I don't know how you pronounce it, Garin brand or whatever, but it's new with tags. I think this is like a late 80s most likely sweatshirt, but this is just an awesome dead stock Raiders sweatshirt, and I should be able to I'll probably price this up to like 100 or something like that. I believe I paid like 30 for this because it is dead stock and it's the Raiders. So yeah, pretty excited about that. And one last sweatshirt and I'll give it back to you. This, I got a lot of, this is a ride, right? Is that what you told me?
Mm-hmm. It's not a ride, it's a show.
Or it's a show? What kind of show?
It's a show that they put on at Disney at night. It's
at the park.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. As opposed to a movie.
Not a movie. Yeah.
So it says Phantasmic. So it's kind of a sort of like a what's the old movie called? Why is my mind not
Fantasia?
Fantasia.
It's a take on Fantasia.
It's kind of a takeoff of Fantasia.
Yeah. They show that Sorcerer Mickey and he's fighting the dragon. It's a light. It's like a light show thing that they do.
It's Disney Fantastic.
She's not a Disney person, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm not. I'm sorry, guys.
She's never been.
I mean, I love me some Disney stuff, but I'm not like a crazy Disney. Yeah, I've only ever been there the one time this year. Anyway, so this is a fantastic sweatshirt. I think I paid like $25 because I just kind of thought it looked really cool and I knew it was vintage and I figure I can sell it for a decent amount. Haven't done any comps. Sometimes I just make a guess and I go, I think that'll sell.
A lot of times I guess.
Yeah, so which can be a little dangerous when you're paying up, but it's just a really cool Disney sweatshirt. So there you go. All right.
Want me to do some
more? Over to you. Yeah.
All right. So this is stuff that I picked up. Let's see. 2 more things from the bins. What are we looking at?
Bear Case, I just looked at your shirt and thought it was Commander Data with bad hair. It's funny because this Michael Myers is actually, the mask that Michael Myers wears is actually a William Shatner mask. It's a William Shatner Captain Kirk mask that they kind of like melted and messed around with for that. Anyway, whatever. Go ahead. Also,
all right.
Sorry, nerds.
Yeah. So, a quick question here. Tommy Seattle. Hey girls, what was the name of that website you mentioned last week to source vintage tags? So it's called the Vintage Fashion Guild. And then there is a label guide there, and it's alphabetized. It is best from like the 1920s, 1930s, all the way through to the 70s into the early 80s. Mm-hmm. They do have some things that go for the 80s and the early 90s, but it is really best for true vintage. And people that are real vintage sellers don't consider 80s and 90s vintage clothing yet. I know that it is technically. I know that we call it vintage. I know that anything over 20 years is considered vintage when it comes to streetwear, especially, but truly vintage is usually 30 to 40 years. So you'll see, it depends on what you're looking for as whether or not you're going to find the information you're looking for.
Let's see my t-shirt again. This is my Valentine's Day gift from Vikki. Do you love it? I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So these two, this is one of my good finds from the bins as well. This is from our bin here. So again, I paid under $2 for this. This is Fox Racing. It does not say Sasquatch inside, but it is the Sasquatch type with the faux fur inside, and it is co-branded Monster Energy. So I paid around $2. I think I can get 75 to 100 for it still, although these prices are definitely getting lower now, but not quite as popular as they used to be. It's in perfect condition. This I picked up at the bins in Savers. So Savers, the biggest Savers here, the Tropicana Savers, has a section that's open a few days a week that has some bin stuff. And it's really just the stuff that doesn't sell in Savers. It's in that specific Savers, and then they throw it in the bins and it's by the pound. So the, depending on when you get there, they don't change out the bins very often. I think they change them every once a day. It's not like a bins, like a Goodwill bins. They don't rotate them. So I think they change them once a day, or they dump more stuff in there once a day. So it's not quite the same. But if you get there at the right time, you can actually find some decent stuff here and there, because a lot of times it'll end up, there's some of the stuff they price ridiculously, right? So even in their 50% off day, they're not going to sell it. So it ends up in the bins once it's past their 50% off day. So I picked this up from the bins there, and it's not that it's like this fantastic brand or anything. I really like this jacket. It's a really, really nice leather jacket. It's a size small, unfortunately, like a size 6, but it's real leather with the faux fur collar, and it's Calvin Klein. It's not, again, not a fantastic brand, but $2. Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice leather jacket, I think.
Not too shabby.
This I paid about $16 for. I caught this one, to both of these things I caught just as they were putting them out on the rack. I got these at Savers. So this is a vintage Nautica. I did pay about $16. I think I'll sell it about $75 to $100, but it's got their nice, stuff on the back that's the sailing jacket style. But the other thing is that it's reversible. So the other side of this jacket is no big graphic, but it's just plain white with like something on the chest. So yeah, so $75 to $100 on this. I paid $16. And this is my last item, and then Katie can go. This they were just putting out on the rack as well. This is definitely a new without tags situation. I paid $12 for it. It is Robert Graham. It's a 3XL. I don't pick up all Robert Graham, but the crazy patterns you want to pick up. So it's 3XL. It's silk. It's a short sleeve, but it still has the collar stays and the plastic at the collar. So the tag's not on it, but it's definitely new without tags. Nobody put that back on it.
This is going to be such a hard one to photograph because you see like it's got like this white pattern underneath it.
Yeah. So I think I can sell this. Again, this is another one.
Cool.
I think I can sell from about 75, $85 for this one. It's a nice pattern. It's not a super, some of them are super ugly and hideous, and those sell really well, but this actually isn't an ugly one. It's actually a nice one with a bright pattern. So yeah, I know what you're saying as far as dry cleaners putting them on, but it's not a dry cleaner. It's got the collar stays in it. I know what you're talking about, but yeah. This one it's still got some like factory crease type things in it.
Yeah. So speaking of the Nautica, so Nautica it's a little bit on the down. It's kind of on the downswing along with Polo and Tommy here in the States. And I noticed like with that jacket, because I had looked it up for Vikki when she was asking me if she should buy it. And I noticed that like it's been undersold and it's listed for too cheap price by some people, that exact same jacket. But here's the thing, I guarantee you she's going to sell at a much higher price because of the different platforms that she's on, and because she does her shipping internationally at an affordable price. Because Nautica is one of those ones that's still very popular, like in Europe and overseas, and it does still sell here as well. And you can see Jen sold a Nautica reversible back in November for around $75. So it's just one of those things, like people, man, it's like, don't undersell yourself, guys. Like do your homework and make it available to as many buyers as possible. And you can still, when I see sellers selling for it. Otherwise, I'll just come and buy it from you and resell it under my seller ID and whatever. Okay. All right. Anyway, all right. I got a few t-shirts I wanted to show. So I bought this one off of Mercari. I only paid like, I think I paid like maybe $10, $12. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but my instinct is that I feel like this should sell for a lot more. And like, maybe they just thought it was, oh, it's just a quirky, that's just a funny 80s t-shirt. Not a big deal.
People don't really understand what they have a lot.
Yeah. I don't know that they really knew the significance, because it might've been somebody who's younger or something like that. But this t-shirt, it says, I survived, extra strength Tylenol, a few other surprises. This is an 80s vintage ringer tee. Now, some of you guys may know, some may not know, back in the 80s, and this is part of why they package pills the way they do now, but back in the 80s, there was this whole thing. They never caught the person that did it, but somebody was poisoning Tylenol.
And children's Tylenol. It was a big deal.
But it happened first in like the earlier mid 80s, and then it happened again like 87. It was like a copycat or something, and it was the extra strength Tylenol. But some people died because they were poisoned, and it changed how they packaged Tylenol now, and medication in general. So this is like, it's pretty dark and macabre, but this is like such a weird, cool t-shirt.
It's just a weird pop culture reference of sorts, you know?
And so I bought it for
that would be like I think that's a question on like Trivial Pursuit or something.
Yeah, so I just think this is like a really cool, interesting, totally dark t-shirt, but I think whoever sold it to me sold it for way too cheap. So I'll probably try to sell it for like $100, because I mean, it's like, are there any others out there even? You know, it's just kind of an odd thing.
It's a weird shirt to have as a commemorative shirt. But then again, if you watch the weird stuff, if you watch the weird stuff on like Netflix, I'm always watching like serial killer documentaries and crap, and so is Katy. Like, there were people selling t-shirts at Ted Bundy's execution. Can I tell you right now, if I got my hands on one of those flipping t-shirts, how much I would sell that for? They exist. They were out there.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So I always talk about how when I don't find vintage stuff in the men's section, I will go and look in the women's section, because a lot of times there'll be hidden vintage t-shirts, because all the people who are like going after the really cool vintage streetwear, a lot of times they miss the women's section. And anything, if it's pink or it's purple, it's going in the women's section. And this, I grabbed this.
Let me just answer quickly. Yes, that is the thing, that the Tylenol shirt is the type you can't use bleach on. Correct. That red would bleed right out on that one.
Gigi also wants to know, what do you think of flipping those protective face masks?
So my personal thoughts on it are, when something's in high demand, there's nothing wrong with making some money on it. But by the same token, I think that you get into, depending on what it is and what the situation is, you don't want to become one of those people that is selling cases of water for $100 a piece when there's a drought. I feel a little
icky about
it's kind of an iffy
masks.
thing. It's an iffy thing.
We're talking about like people being able to stay safe and not get sick and something that's really scary. I feel a little bit, I'm not such a fan of trying to flip that for a lot of money. And
like, say if they sell for $10 and you have the opportunity to sell them for 25 or something, and you have them in your store, I'm not totally against that. Because you're not hurting anybody. Those type of things.
If you're going to your local store and you're buying out everything that's on the shelves, and people who want to go buy them for themselves to protect themselves can't get them, I mean, it's a health thing. I don't know.
I think it's kind of shitty.
I'm not a huge fan of it. Anyway, so I was able to grab this Knott's Berry Farm all over print Peanuts Lucy t-shirt from 1991. Paid just a couple bucks for it. Actually, no, this is one that was priced like crazy high. Remember, they had it priced like $9.99, and I was like, Jesus! But so I paid $7.50 for it, because that's still a great deal. But this was hidden in the women's section. Just a really cool t-shirt. So where are we at for time? I'll just go really quickly over some of my yesterday's fit stuff. Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. What? No idea what the comps are on this, but of course I had to pick it up. Paid I actually only paid like $25 for this, so I have no idea.
I like this one.
This one is a Liquid Blue. Liquid Blue does a lot of really cool all over print t-shirts. They do a lot of Grateful Dead. This is not Grateful Dead, but this is still super, super cool. This is a zebra one, and I love.
Clearly, it's the gay zebra.
Yeah, there's the gay zebra hanging out with all the other zebras there. But it's just really cool, because I love that it's not just all over print zebra stripes, it's actual zebras. You see they're all hanging out there, and then there's the one rainbow zebra right there. No idea what I'm going to price this out. I'll probably price it like around $100 to start, because I mean, come on, it's just a really, really cool t-shirt.
That is a really cool shirt.
I think I paid like $20, maybe $25 for it.
Pamela's Procurements. I emailed you a while ago asking if I could get on your show with a live store review. Send another email, Pamela. I don't remember the email, but
I might have missed it. Send another one, because we need,
if you're available on Wednesday, and I haven't gotten another emails, since I announced it, I'll email you back either way, and maybe we can do Wednesday.
Yeah, for sure. I also picked up this 3D emblem. I think somebody had posted something in the Boss Facebook group, and this is one of the ones like her parents have all these t-shirts, and this was one of them. So I had looked it up at the time, and it has sold really, really well. It's an 80s one.
I think that might have been Cindy.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was an 80s. This is from like 88, 85. 3D emblem, and you can see the lovers there, the lovers on their bike being lovely. But anyway, I paid this one. I might have paid 50 for, but I should be able to sell it. I don't remember when I looked it up. I remember it went for a lot. What are you looking at me for?
You must have said the word lover like 10
times. Yeah,
because
I wanted to make you make that face. Lovers, the way of life for lovers.
Gross.
And when I grabbed this one, I said to Jesse, I'm like, you knew I was not going to be able to pass this one up. And he's like, oh, yeah. So check it out, guys. All over print. This one's a really cool Yosemite. I love these national park ones and wolf ones. And this is just like a perfect storm of awesomeness. It's got like the moon and it's the stars in the sky. And it's just like a really, really nice t-shirt. I believe I paid $25 for this one as well. I'll probably try to get like 70, 80 bucks out of it because this is just, Greg says that's my moist word.
Ugh. Both of them. I'm sorry. Both of them, Greg. I'm with you. So HTK Flippers is like making the vomit face because you said lovers. But you know what? Go back to her comment a little bit higher about the face masks. And I think that that's exactly how I feel about it right there. It's a completely different thing than non-essential memorabilia. You know how people will drive up prices like the Kobe Bryant stuff, and we're not going to get into the discussion about it. I personally feel like if you have the stuff and this is a capitalist market, we are in the business of reselling people's things. And here's the thing, half the stuff we pick up at estate sales are from dead people that we pay dollars for that we sell. So it is what it is. There's a demand for it. But is it hurting anyone or taking it away from anyone whatsoever? Absolutely not. Just like Jen says right there, creating the culture of only the wealthy deserve to survive. That's it. I agree with that. I think that's the right way to say it. Like a case of water that you're selling to drought victims for $100, or the $50 for face masks that you can buy at the dollar store. I think that's for me, that's kind of where I draw the line.
And whether it's a real or perceived threat, when you're like trying to get people to like shell out a bunch of money because they are legitimately scared that they're going to get sick, or maybe somebody with like a super compromised immune system. Like I just don't like it. I personally don't.
Oh, it's so funny. She's right with me too. The other one, panties, moist, and lover. 3 words I hate. That's exactly all 3 of them.
Honestly, they go really well together.
No, just stop your face. Just stop.
Just be like, sometimes you lover.
Just no, don't even go there. It's disgusting. The words are nasty. They gross me out. All 3 of those words.
All right, I have just a few more things that I'm just going to show you because I think you guys, these are some of the best ones. I think I actually just listed these today. So any of you comic book geeks out there, The Sandman was a comic book series. Neil Gaiman was the writer, the creator. The Sandman, I believe, is DC Comics put it out, but it came out. I think it's come out in a different couple places, but I think this is during the Vertigo time. I do really love some of the old comic stuff. So this is just a really cool comic book shirt. This particular one, there are none available right now. So they have sold for higher amounts at times. So I think right now I have this listed for $200 just because there really are none available at this moment. And just a really cool, there's like a really big cult following of Sandman stuff and Neil Gaiman. So just a really cool t-shirt. That one, I believe I paid like, I might've paid like 30 for it.
That's a lot for a t-shirt. Yeah, you know what? Armpit's right up there too. But armpit, I don't hate the word as much as I think it is gross as far as a listing description word.
So I paid a lot for that. I paid, like she just said, I paid $30 for that t-shirt. That is a lot, but I know I could sell it for probably minimum $150. Like I said, I have it listed for $200 right now because there are none other listed. But I would take like the $150 for it. And I know it'll definitely sell because it's a very popular series with a cult following. But guys, come on! I got a few wrestling T-shirts. This is from 1988.
You got some good wrestling T-shirts.
1988, Macho Man Randy Savage. This is in fantastic condition. Now there are
there are definite repros of this shirt because I've seen I've seen that exact style shirt places.
There are other ones listed. This is not the only one. I did list it for like 140. It's going to be 140 on eBay. This one though, I did pay $50 for this one, but it'll sell. It might take a little bit longer just because there are some other ones.
Snap into a Slim Jim. That's a funny reference too.
But it's just a really awesome vintage 1988 look. It's got the old school WWF as opposed to WWE tag on it right there. But this is just a really cool t-shirt. I love it. I paid $50 for this because he had just gotten it in, and actually I bought it in a group of other shirts. It's 3 t-shirts I paid $110 for because I paid $50 for this one and then $30 a piece for the other.
Macho Man Randy Savage, who was married to Miss Elizabeth. I actually used to love wrestling in the 80s and early 90s.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is not part of that grouping. I think I paid like $25, $30 for this one too, though. But this is Stone Cold Steve Austin, 1999. It's still, even in 1999, it still has the WWF on it, as opposed to WWE when they had to switch over because of the World Wildlife Foundation. But this one right here, I should be able to sell it for $140, $150. And so the other two I got with that Randy Savage one. Here's another one. This is also Randy Savage. So this is actually Randy. This is what's cool about this shirt. This is from New World Order, NWO, WCW, Madness. So this was a Team Madness. Randy Savage was part of it, and some other wrestlers. And they also called him Team Savage.
I remember
but
that.
What's cool about this is they were only around. It was only around for like a few months. It like started in like the summer, or no, started like in the spring of 99, and it went away like in the summer of 99. So it was literally like a 4-month thing. And then I don't know if it just flopped or what, but so this is just a really, really cool t-shirt. There's actually, it's sold before. There's none currently available. There's some repros, definitely some reprints of this exact same shirt, but there's none of the vintage ones currently listed. So I put this one up for $200, but I would take like $150. So I paid $30 for this one. Just a really cool wrestling t-shirt. And then the
Talking about our favorite 80s wrestlers, I loved Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Hart Foundation. I was into all of that. I loved all those guys. Ken Patera. They're awesome.
All right. Everybody, please say who your favorite wrestlers are.
They have been talking about it. Ultimate Warrior. Come on now.
I love it.
I like Greg's topic change though, to chat, change up the chat.
Yeah.
ZZ Top, known for a rock band known for men with really long, ridiculous looking beards. Has a drummer by the last name Beard, who does not have a beard.
Yep.
So discuss.
There you discuss.
That's what he said. Discuss. I think it's pretty funny.
Anyway, and then this was the other wrestling t-shirt I got. This is the Outsiders. So this was a couple of, I think they're brothers. I don't remember their names off the top of my head. But again, this was from the 90s, late 90s, NWO. There's nothing on the back. I listed this one for like $140, but I would take like $100 for it. But yeah, I paid $30. So this one, and then the two Randy Savage ones, I paid $110 for 3 t-shirts. But between the 3 of them, I should be able to turn that $110 into easily $300, $400. So
all right.
And then that's it, guys. That is it. Bam, 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 bam.
That is it. What is this?
Bam, bam. Ow. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh.
I don't know what it is.
You're too much.
Anyway, that's about it, guys. What do you think?
I think we had a pretty decent haul.
Yeah, I feel like I talked a lot.
You did. I know you're shocked by this, but yes. I feel very chatty.
I feel I've been having great weeks of sourcing, especially because I'm buying every single week from Yesterday's Fits. Like I always have some really, really cool stuff to share.
And stuff that you're excited about.
And stuff I'm really excited about.
Causes you to talk a lot more.
Very, very true. But I feel like this week in particular, I got a lot of really, really, really cool stuff that I'm very excited about. And for me, it makes it really fun to list. Like listing, I'm not even joking, guys. Listing has become one of my favorite things to do when you really like, I know it's like a whole up for debate. Everybody has their different feelings about it. Some people say all I care about is if it's worth money, I'll buy it and I'll sell it. And I get it. But for me, I love the stuff that I'm selling because I get so excited about it. It makes listing fun. It's not a chore at all. I know you feel differently. You're like, whatever. But even you, like when No,
I get excited. I've been saying I'm a little bit tapped out on clothes lately. I like listing good clothing, but I'm kind of sick of it at the moment. I really prefer to find interesting hard goods. And unfortunately, there's a reason why I keep 50-50, right? If I had just clothing, I'd probably starve, especially because a lot of it is vintage and it's long tail. But I also can't live on just the hard goods. My store really is a 50-50 mix, and it kind of has to be. So, my sales have been in the toilet for like the past 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not going to lie. It's a little discouraging. I'm down from last year. I'm up over just around $7,000 on eBay for my last 30 days. And I haven't dipped below 8,000 in, 14, 15 months. But Thankfully, I have Etsy, I have Macari, although Macari's dead right now. And I have Posh starting to pick up a little bit. So, I mean, as long as I have an extra $2,000 coming in from other platforms and I can stay around the $10,000 consistent mark, I'm okay with that, knowing that I'm going to be higher, some months.
Yeah. Well, and I think, I think I've become more rigid and like, I only want to buy and sell stuff that I'm really excited about. And you're a little bit more open to like, you understand it's more realistic for you to be more open to stuff that maybe you're not excited about, but you're going to make money on. However, I think that when you do find stuff that you're super excited about. So for instance, those photographs that you sold recently,
those
I was super excited about those. You had fun listing because you were super excited about the research part of it and actually listing it. And you can't always love everything that you're listing. Right now I'm lucky that I happen to have the ability to source stuff that I'm excited about every week, but that opportunity could go away. I have no control over who I'm buying from. If they happen to close up shop or for whatever
or
reason,
if they decide that you're not profitable to be selling to anymore like that.
Yeah, whatever,
that might happen.
Then it's like, I'd have to figure it out. Like, okay, I'd be really sad and depressed, and then I have to figure out like, how am I going to source stuff I'm excited about? Because going to Savers, it doesn't work so well.
So we had about 180 to 185 people at the height of the show watching. So if you guys could hit the thumbs up button on the way out, we'd appreciate it. We still have 160 some odd watching. They haven't completely tuned us out yet. So yeah, go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you can. We do appreciate it. We're getting there. We're just about I think we should hit 9,000 subs within the next week or two. So if you don't mind sharing our store to your friends or in groups that you're in, if it's available, our channel, whatever, we'd appreciate it. I'd like to hit 10,000 subs in the next couple months.
So I almost forgot.
Oh.
We have our Wednesday show, but what's happening on Tuesday?
Oh, yeah, almost forgot. On our Wednesday show, we're going to do the story view. I'll get back to the emails that I received, and we'll announce it in the group with the link and everything. But on Tuesday, we are going to be on Star's channel, the Flippin' Hippos channel. Star is doing an interview. She does a series of interviews with different resellers, and she's kind of taken the last 4 or 5 months off from that because, work. It gets to be monotonous, life, work. It gets to be a lot of time. So we are doing her show on Tuesday, and she asks all these kinds of crazy random questions. So we have no idea. We don't get them in advance. No idea what to expect, and I'm okay with that.
But we get to ask her weird questions too, right? That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, we have to come up with 5 questions for her between now and Tuesday as well. So Tuesday it is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, because she's in Pennsylvania, I believe.
Wow.
So 7 p.m. Eastern, which means 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, but if you don't subscribe to her channels, go ahead and subscribe, and then you'll get the updates. Which it's
Flippin' Hippos.
Yeah. So we'll be on her show. That should be fun. I'm looking forward to coming up with some inappropriate questions to ask her. But we're like totally on the same page when it comes to her, and I are very much on the same page when it comes to like horror movies and all kind of like the weird. And
she and I read stuff. all the same stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, so we have a lot in common with her. So I'm really looking forward to being on the show. I know we were supposed to be on it like forever ago, and I think she got sick or something. I don't remember.
She did. She got sick, and she was sick for a good 2 weeks, and then fourth quarter came, and she postponed that particular series on her show on her channel for a while. Yeah.
But we are planning on rescheduling our Friday No Pants Friday After Dark with our friends Will and Jenny. But
Thrifting Nomads.
We tried to reschedule this last week, and it turned out that Jenny was down in Mexico, so we couldn't do it. So at some point we will have those cutie patooties on, because we love them and they are adorable.
They really are.
But yeah, so look forward to seeing us on Tuesday, and then we promise we won't cancel our show on Wednesday. Don't let me cancel the show on Wednesday, because I just promised. We promise we won't cancel the show on Wednesday, because there's a really good chance that we won't have any shows while Vikki's out of town, because I'm kind of liking the idea, now that I've said it out loud,
not doing a Sunday show.
I'm really liking the idea of like just unplugging other than doing work, but just kind of like not doing anything for the time that you're gone.
Don't you worry, Bonnie. We're going to have Mr. Thrift Fever on at some point. He is on the short list for the Friday After Dark.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, we are going to go. We got some work to do. You've got pictures to take, right? That's what
I do. I have to take some pictures. Because I'm going to be gone, I need to take pictures today. And then my photography person, because I'm out, first of all, I'm out of photos. to list because nobody worked for me this week, and I didn't work this week really. So I have to take photos today, and then my photography assistant is going to come on Tuesday to take more photos, and then Dana, my listing helper, will be coming probably on Wednesday. I want to try and get some drafts going so I have some stuff listed while I'm gone. I got to get some work done, guys.
Yep, and I'm just gonna hit it. I got a lot of stuff to list that I'm excited about and totally psyched. Okay, guys. Psyched. All right.
All right, so we will see you
Tuesday night, guys. Come hang out with us on Tuesday night.
Yeah, come hang out in the chat and support Star and hang in us, and we'll see you then.
Adios.
All right, bye.